Can I start with the elk thing?
Yeah.
Because I am fascinated with hunting. I think it's badass. I think everybody should know how to do it. And I'm not I am an animal lover, but I'm not going to be that hypocritical one that fucking eats chickens that had their fucking beaks clipped off and they got the roided out Mark McGuire breastplate and they're tipping over in the coops, all that shit that you see. And then I'm going to be like, oh, how could you shoot a fucking pheasant or whatever the hell you're shooting out there? But I retweeted a picture of, you got this, what is it? You said it was a 12-pointer, or how do you say, 6 and 6?
It's a 6x6, they call it. A
Straight
6x6 elk.
It's a 6x6. All right, so that means
it's a big elk. I've shot 3 elk. That's the biggest one by far. That one was monstrous. It was huge. So
what is the? This is the thing that always fascinates me about hunting shows, is the nervousness and the whispering before you take the shot. They're always like, "Okay, there it is. There it is. Just relax. Okay, exhale and just like if you miss, I mean, is the fucking thing going to come running at you? That's what it seems like, because it doesn't have.
You're trying not to spook it, because you have to have it close enough for you to shoot it. Depending upon how you're shooting it. If you're shooting it with a bow and arrow, you got to be real close. You got to be inside of 60 yards most of the time.
Bow and arrow's badass.
I shot one with a bow and arrow. That one out there, the big one, I shot with a rifle.
Dude, a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
That's to me, that's the shit. I saw Ted Nugent. He shot a fucking bear. You know, which I could never do. I fucking love bears. There's certain animals, but you know what I mean?
Bears are interesting. I've shot bears.
You shot a bear?
I eat bears. I'll get you some bear sausage.
I can't eat a bear.
I've shot 3 bears with a bow and arrow.
I can't eat a bear.
They're good. And
dude,
if you
I bet
knew
you're
about
delicious.
Bears,
I bet you're delicious. You're like a fucking sirloin.
Well, we look
not
at
even
bears.
A filet mignon. You got like no fat on you.
Like tender and juicy.
That's what I've always felt that about you, Joe.
Thank you. We think of bears, I think, very incorrectly, because with you know what the word anthropomorphization means, when you put human characteristics in animals like Yogi Bear and shit like that.
Or you make them ride a bicycle at the circus.
We have this idea that bears are these cute things, but where my friend lives in Alberta, where I hunt, they literally have to shoot them because they don't have any predators. So if bears don't have any predators, and they just breed and they keep breeding, and then they decimate the moose population, the elk population, and they cannibalize each other. That's the thing that most people...
So they kind of handle it in-house.
Sort of, but they eat babies. That's what they do most of the time.
What do you mean eat babies?
They eat their own babies.
The guy has sliders. Little black bear sliders. Well, why wouldn't you?
Well, it's brutal to see. You know, we've stumbled across paws and stuff from cubs with the male boars. That's what the ones.
Let me ask you this:
go after.
when you just find a baby bear paw in the woods, I mean, a part of your soul has to just fucking... It's got to die or cry out. Like that's something I never want to see.
It's very strange. I do have to admit, though, that bear hunting's not... I don't like it as much as hunting other animals. If I had to choose, like, what animals to hunt... And you can eat bear, by the way, and that's the only things that I hunt is what I eat. Black bear. You can eat grizzly bear, but they don't taste good. And most of the reason for that, because grizzly bears mostly eat meat. They eat a few berries. If you can find a grizzly bear that was just eating berries, it would probably taste delicious. They literally taste like what they eat. Like, hunters try to go after bears that eat berries, like black bears in particular, in the fall. They'll eat blueberries. They call them blueberry bears because, like, as you're opening them up, their fat is like a purple color, and it tastes like blueberries. And apparently it's the most delicious meat in the world.
So without them realizing, they're already marinating themselves.
Exactly.
For you guys
they're
that are going to
flavoring
show
themselves.
up. Wow.
They're seasoning themselves. But my all-time favorite animals are elk. That's the best. They taste the best for you. And
you gave me that elk meat, whatever the last time I was on here, and I made a chili out of it, and then the fucking elk burgers, it's a little dry. Somebody gave me a hint to put a little bit of butter in there to kind of, make it, you needed something like an egg or something to make it stick together a little bit.
Yeah, well, you don't want to cook it too much because it's super lean. There's no fat in it.
No, I put a piece of Swiss cheese and some prosciutto on top.
Nice.
It's fucking insane.
And you feel good when you eat it, too. It's a powerful food. There's a lot of energy in those. There's so much nutrients in elk. It's like way more protein dense, way more nutrient dense.
Plus, they're kind of like, because they're wild, I know, like, the human, like, footprint, as they said, acid rain and all the fucking horse shit we do. But at least it's I would like to think it's kind of away from the GMOs and all that.
It's a way as you can get.
So, and who knows what GMOs do to you, but, like, the fresh shit tastes better, though. It does taste better. It does
taste better. I mean, GMOs, everything's... That's a weird word. Like, if you talk to real scientists about GMOs, most of the time when you talk about GMOs, you're talking to hippies. And like, yeah, man, you got to stay away from GMOs. Genetically modified. It's giving us cancer. It's terrible for the water. But real GMOs is almost everything we eat. Every tomato you eat is genetically modified.
Right.
They've all been altered. Corn,
we're kind of like guinea pigs to see like what's going to happen.
Sort of, but most of it is just splicing.